Thank you for being here. I'm Joe Renga, the current president of the New Jersey LGBT Chamber of Commerce. And we have with us, in addition to our guest speaker, we have with us today two fellow board members of mine, our vice president of sponsorship and corporate relations, Stephen Blazewski, and our vice president of diversity and inclusion and policy, Steve Garibel. So you have three board members here today. If you have any questions about the chamber, you can ask any of us, just do it in the chat. We're here to help everyone. And for everyone, just to recap who the chamber is, the New Jersey LGBT Chamber of Commerce is the only LGBT chamber in the state of New Jersey. And pretty much we are the only LGBT business organization in the state. Think of us as we're beyond being a chamber of commerce. We're a resource for so many things in terms of business and business growth and getting you started in business. And we're here to make as many connections for people as possible to other LGBT-owned businesses, our allies. And one of the things we truly promote if you are a business owner is to get certified as an LGBT-owned business. With that certification, you can get into the procurement streams of Fortune 1000 companies, lots of higher education institutions, and also we try to get and work you with the state governments and at all levels, including municipalities. The city of Newark, the city of Hoboken, and the city of Jersey City all recognize the LGBT community as a as a minority community, and there are many, many government contracts and city contracts you can go after with that designation. Today, we're really pleased to bring you information on an organization that I personally did not know a lot about until I was lucky enough to hear speak the executive director. The New Jersey Business Action Center is a business advocacy team within the Department of State, and they are dedicated to solving problems and maximizing growth opportunities for small businesses. They can help you get answers from government agencies, direct you to the appropriate officials or contacts. They facilitate meetings. They do follow-ups with regulatory agencies and a whole lot more. They have a lot of information. It's all at no cost and strictly confidential, which is really cool. So if you are an entrepreneur, a business owner with a small business on Main Street, or if you're located on a corporate campus, or if you're interested in even exporting the products and services that you produce, if you do that sort of thing, this really is the agency to help you. In fact, their business helpline is so simple. It's 1-800-JERSEY-7. That's it. And today we're really pleased and grateful to have with us the agency's executive director, Ms. Melanie Willoughby, who is going to just explain a lot of what the agency does and how they can help all of us. And with that, Melanie, I'm going to pass it off to you now.
Well, thank you very, very much, Joe. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here with everyone today. And one of the things that Joe and I talked about just before we all got together was about questions. So we basically said that if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat along the way. And Joe will see that you have a question. And then he will say, Melanie, excuse me, we have a question. So that I can take the questions as I'm going through the presentation so that we can address it right then and there. If you want to wait until the end of the presentation, I can do that too. I'm going to be running a slide deck that has all of the information that you're going to need. And actually, you're going to get that slide deck also. I'm going to send it off to Joe, and then he'll send it to everybody, so that if you forget anything, or if you really want one of the links that I have that is on there, you don't have to scurry to write it down. It will actually, you can do it from the slide deck, which we're going to send to you. So I'm now going to bring that up so that we can start. And I can go into, there we go. Okay. All right. So let's get started. So the Business Action Center was very well described by Joe, but I want to tell you that we've been around for over 30 years and that we have been serving businesses when we used to be in the Department of Commerce. But now we are within the Department of State. But we've always been a business advocacy agency. And we are the only one that exists in state government where we actually advocate for you with government agencies. When you have questions, when you have problems, challenges, we like to call them, that there is the opportunity for you to just pick up the telephone and call 1-800-JERSEY-7 or get in touch with us through any of our emails, which we'll be providing to you, and also through our website, and we can help you. So we have 3 offices. One is the Office of Business Advocacy, where we have business advocates who are out in the counties, and they can help you with a site search for a location. They can help you if you're looking to grow your business and help you through that permitting process, or if you need to consolidate it because of COVID changing the environment. But the permitting part is, I think, the one that is the most important for you to remember, because permits are government regulating what you can build where, and that can be some of the most confusing part of actually building a building. And the business advocates are there to help you with that. Then there's the Office of Small Business Advocacy, which may very well be many of you on the webinar today, which is where we help you from starting your business, thinking, I want to start a business, trying to decide what kind, and so we can actually help you think that through. And we can help you with putting together the technical assistance you're going to need with doing a marketing plan, a business plan, a financial plan, because you're going to need all of that in order to be able to map out your business. And also, we can help you with answering questions about financing, which is always the big question at the top of every business's mind, which is, how can I get financing? And then there's the Office of Export Promotion. And this is where we help businesses decide whether they have something that is worth exporting to other countries. And you may very well have a service, or you may have a product that you would like to export. And I was going to cover this in our discussion today. And because of the fact that Joe and I sort of talked about the fact that very few of you have ever asked him about export promotion, I'm going to just leave it in the slides. And then if any of you at the end of the presentation say, hey, can you just tell me a little bit about that and ask that question, I'd be happy to circle back. So think of us as your connector. As a connector, think of us as connecting you with all the things that you need. So you need technical assistance in order to put together that business plan. We'll connect you with the right people. So you need to identify how to get capital from a local, state, federal grants, federal loans. So we work with the Small Business Administration. We work with the EDA, which is the Economic Development Authority. We work with the CDFIs, which are the local microloan processors, which are community development finance institutions that can help with small grants and loans. And we also work with the local banks when we're talking about getting you a PPP or an EIDL. We also can help provide guidelines if you need PPE. So now PPE, we have a lot of acronyms, So PPE is actually personal protective equipment. And this is to help make sure that you and your employees, if you're in the restaurant business, if you're in the retail business, if you're a manufacturer, that you can get this protective equipment at a great discount, because the Economic Development Authority has set up this process to help small business get this. And this is actually the link to get you to that site. And once again, you're going to get these, so you don't have to hurry and write this down. We also can help you with clarifying mandated employee benefits. Now, like earned sick leave. If you have just one employee, just one, earned sick leave applies to you. Now, paid family leave requires you to have 30 employees or more, but that is also a state required program. And we also help you with understanding workers' compensation, which has a new requirement now that since COVID, the requirement is now that you have to assume that if your employee gets COVID, that it happened on the job. And that means your workers' comp is going to take care of it. And so they're not going to go to their own family doctor. They have to go to the workers' compensation doctor. And that is not going to increase your rates, but that is the way it is now going to be handled because there are so many people who don't know whether they got COVID on the job or at home or in the restaurant. And so it's going to be picked up through workers' comp. And also about licensing and certification requirements. So we get these questions all the time. I'm thinking of starting a business. Do I need a license? And there are lots of businesses that need a license. I'll tell you a funny little story about someone who was calling because they want to be, a Reiki massage therapist. Now, massage therapists actually do require a license. However, a Reiki therapist does not. Difference is massage therapists actually touch your body. Reiki therapists do not. So that's the qualifier. If you touch the body, you need a license. If you don't, you don't. I just learned that the other day, as a matter of fact, because someone called about needing a license for Reiki, and I said, no, you do not. So think of us as the great connector. So we're going to connect you to the Economic Development Authority for loans and to the Treasury Department, where 70% of our questions come in are from the Treasury. So are you tax compliant? Do you know that for sure? Do you have a tax compliant certificate that says that you are tax compliant and that if you want to apply for any grant or loan that you need to have your tax compliance certificate, and that if you don't have one that is up to date, 6 months up to date, that you're going to have to get one. And if you're not tax compliant, it could very well take you a long period of time to get that right. So I suggest if you are thinking of applying for a grant that might be coming down because of the Biden stimulus package for any small business, that you check that you are tax compliant, and you can do that with the Treasury Department. And then what will happen is you'll get a busy signal, or they won't answer the phone, and then you call us, the Business Action Center, because we'll be the people who will actually help you. So,
Melanie, we have a question. We have a question. Yes. A person has asked, can a business who hasn't gained revenue yet receive any type of grant?
So how old is the business? Are you less than a year old? Were you created during the pandemic?
I'm not seeing an answer yet, but 3 years old is the business.
Okay, so you're 3 years old. Do you have any employees?
The person did have employees, but I'm assuming not.
But they had to let them go.
Yeah.
All right. So that's going to be an open question because of the fact that if you don't have any revenue, the question is, did you have revenue, but you lost it because of COVID? So if you did have revenue, but you lost it, if you had employees and you had to lay them off, you have to be able to demonstrate that there was a loss that you had and now you don't. Now, that was the previous requirements. Under the new Biden stimulus package, I'm not sure what the requirements are going to be for the grant and whether or not you will have had to prove the loss. So stay tuned, because those dollars have not come to the state yet, and we don't have the criteria for what those grants will be yet, but that should be coming within the next month or two. So that person who asked that question, I'm going to have my email address, which is going to come up. So you can email me with some of the answers to the questions that I was asking, so we can talk about that. All right, the Department of Labor and Workforce Development, this is a very important department because this is where your employees file for unemployment. This is where you are questioning whether your employees should apply for unemployment. And this is also where they help you to determine what benefits your employees are eligible for if they get COVID. And some of them may very well be eligible for short-term disability, paid family leave, earned sick leave. There are a whole host of benefits that they are eligible for. And this is all through the Department of Labor. And so we have a direct line to the Department of Labor where we're able to get answers to those questions for you. Consumer Affairs Division, of course, I mentioned you need that certificate or license. Department of Community Affairs. Now, what do? Well, they actually are where the fire code and the building code officials reside. And you know, the fire code and building code officials are all within your local municipalities, and they answer to the Department of Community Affairs. So when there are any problems in your local municipality with any of the fire or building code issues, we usually go to the Community Affairs to help us resolve them. Small Business Development Centers, we work very closely with them. They are federally funded as well as funded by the Business Action Center, and they are all over the state and have experts who help with technical assistance. So they can help you put together a business plan. They can help you put together an e-commerce plan. If you're not virtual and digital, you better get with it, because that's really, no matter whether we have the pandemic over in another month or so, or hopefully, or another year, you really need to be doing e-commerce. And we can refer you to the right business development folks to help get that expertise for you. SCORE is, if you haven't heard of them, actually are people who've retired who do help to mentor companies when they're having difficulties with trying to think through their next steps. And I think that that's where a lot of companies we find are now, is they're thinking, well, you know, what should I do? Should I close this business and start a new business? You know, am I really too far gone? Will another grant help me? And these are a lot of the questions that we get that we try to help businesses answer. Downtown New Jersey, actually, is if you're in a downtown, this is a great organization that helps with rebuilding the downtowns. And they're really committed. If you are located in a downtown, finding out the programs that are available through downtown New Jersey is really a good step to take. And then, of course, there are programs available from your county or municipality, which you can always call your local clerk to find out what those are. So here is the most important website that you're ever going to want to know, other than your own organizations, of course. And this is business.nj.gov. This is a business-friendly website that was created during the pandemic specifically to help businesses find information in a very, very fast, quick way. And so the best part of this is that it has a live chat feature. And I mean, no robots. It's our business experts who essentially are answering the live chat, that when you go on, a little box pops up and says, "Hi, how can I help you?" And we really mean it, because we're really a person behind that chat. And we can help answer any of your questions. We're there between the hours of 8 and 5 every day, Monday through Friday. We rest on Saturday and Sunday, but then we're back there Monday morning, 8 o'clock. And this has a step-by-step process to take you through the business plan creation, through filing and accounting dates that you may need. It helps you with contracting with the state, which I know was mentioned before. And we're going to go through some of that so that you can see how you can contract with the state. So I will now show you, hold on one second, the COVID section of the website. So this is the business.nj.gov/COVID. So this is where all of the personal protective equipment links are. This helps you with all the state government executive orders that the governor mentions. It also does the Department of Health administrative orders, the state police administrative orders. It links to capital grants and loans. And it also provides access to all of the business development centers. And this is a very important piece, because once the governor makes an announcement, and he has 3 press conferences a week, usually at 1 o'clock. And when he makes those announcements at the press conference, as soon as he makes those announcements, it goes up on this website and it's ready for you. So when he said we were going to 50% on March 19th for all restaurants and gyms, and we were upping the gathering so that you could go from 10 people to 25 people indoors, that as soon as that happened, it was up on the website and we were ready to answer those questions. So it's a smooth operation, making sure that you get the information that you need. Now, if we don't have the information and you stump us with a question, we will find the answer. And we will continue to work on it until we find the answer. That I think is the most important thing to know, is that we see service and customer relations as being the most important thing we do. We know that you as a business person know how important maintaining good customer relations is. And we see that as part of our job, which is to make sure that we have very positive customer relations with the business community, and that you know you can trust us and count on us. And I really want to emphasize that. So here's a business checklist. So we do a lot of these brochures, which you can find at our website. And this is starting a new business checklist. So if any of you have decided you want to start a new business, this is a great brochure for you. But if you are wanting to make sure that you're compliant with absolutely every aspect of state law, then you should read this. Because I know you might find this shocking, but there are many businesses who, when they apply for grants or loans to the SBA or to the EDA, that they are kicked out of the system because they didn't have some of the compliance requirements done. And so that's why I say, get them done now before you apply for a grant or a loan, because that way you'll save yourself a lot of time and headaches, and you'll know that you're ready to rock and roll and you're gonna be right in there with your application. And so this is a really great document for you to take a look at. Okay, so one of the other things that the Business Action Center does is it talks to you about new and upcoming laws. And some of them you're gonna like and some of them you're not gonna like. So the New Jersey Secure Choice Savings Act is for anyone who has 25 or more workers, has been in business for at least 2 years, and you don't offer your employees now a qualified retirement plan. So this was what the government passed over a year ago to ensure that all employees whose employer did not provide a retirement plan would have one. And it is actually a program that is for part-time employees as well. And all employees are automatically enrolled and contribute 3% of pre-tax income into the program, or they can opt out if they choose. And the best benefit about all this is that it goes with you. So if you move from employer to employer, it's all in the Secure Choice Savings Program, so that is like a state-run program, and it's going to go with you from employer to employer. The only thing employers have to do is they just have to deduct it from your payroll, and they have to provide you with information as an employee, and you don't, as an employer, have to provide any contributions. Now, it was supposed to go into effect on March 28th, but because of COVID, it has been delayed. So if you are working with a payroll service, they may very well know about it and can give you the information about the fact that they're set up and ready to do this. But you can check back with the Business Action Center, because we will have all the information in enough time to give you what you need to do in order to be ready for this. Plus, Treasury will be sending out to employers all of the information about how they are going to comply, and they will give you plenty of time to do that. But I just wanted to give you a heads up on this because it was something that AARP worked very hard I'm getting because they wanted to be sure that everyone was cared for. All right, Governor Murphy's budget proposal. So the governor makes a proposal usually in February, and then the legislature takes a look at it, and then they argue about it, and then it's passed and signed into law by July 1st with some changes. So he has made his budget proposal, and there are lots of options for business in his budget proposal. But the first thing that he did was he had worked with the legislature to get the Economic Recovery Act of 2020 done first. And so that is actually an incentive program that has dollars slated for small businesses, which is a Main Street Recovery Fund, which is for micro business owners that have less than 1 million in annual revenue and fewer than 10 full-time employees. So this is money that would be coming to those small businesses, and this is all going to be run through the Economic Development Authority and through the Community Development Financial Institution, which, as I mentioned to you, are the micro loan providers. We then have a historic property reinvestment program, which is to help leverage the federal historic tax credits so that you can rehab identified historic properties if any of you are interested in working in that area. Then we have some money for other NJEDA lending programs. We have money for collaborative workspaces for early stage innovation companies. And then we have $500,000 for small business bonding readiness. Now, this is a program which is really about helping teach businesses about bonding, and about how they can be involved in contracts with construction and contract law so that they will be able to get a bond to participate in these types of contracts. And that is a bonding program that is very helpful for small businesses who have never done that before. There's more money for small business in neighborhood preservation. So if you happen to be in a neighborhood preservation area, which usually is in a lot of our urban areas, there's going to be more money for small businesses in those areas. And then there's the big programs, which are Emerge and Aspire, which are economic development tools to really help with the big developments that will also be helpful to the state. And I would imagine that we don't have a lot of you who are interested in doing like a $1 billion investment in a big development in the state. So those programs, if you're interested, I could certainly talk to you about them, but they're really for trying to attract really large companies into the state. So now let's go into a few more of what the governor's budget is covering through the economic recovery, which is brownfields redevelopment. So if you are involved in doing a redevelopment of any brownfields, there's going to be money for you. If you're interested in trying to put together a food store in an area where there isn't one, there are programs that are trying to address those needs. And then there's a final program, which is one that is going to try to help to raise money to invest funds in New Jersey companies that may have a shortfall in venture capital. And as you know, the governor is very committed to trying to help companies innovate. And this is what the Innovation Evergreen Fund is for. All right, so now let's go to President Biden's stimulus package. So you know that this is $1.9 trillion. And this is what I want you all to think about, because the money's not going to be coming for about another month. But what's really important is that there's money for the state, and they anticipate the state is going to be getting about $2 billion. Now, with that money, the state can utilize it for paying off COVID expenses, but also for small business grants. In the previous federal stimulus packages, we had small business grants that were used and provided by the EDA, and we believe that's going to come down again. So once again, stay tuned to the Business Action Center's website at business.nj.gov to pay attention for when those grants are going to be coming. Then there's also going to be money given to the counties, and that's for COVID relief as well. But the last time money was given to the counties, they also provided grants for small business from the stimulus money. So we believe in talking to many of the counties that they're going to do the same thing. Also, money is going to be given to every municipality. Every municipality can use it for COVID relief, but there will be a number of municipalities like your urban centers, like Newark, which is supposed to get $180 million, for instance, which might very well use it for small business grants, not loans, grants. And we know that lots of businesses really want the grants. We don't have the details of how you will apply, when you will apply, or what the criteria will be. Just know that there will be grants coming from the state, grants coming from the county that you do business in, and grants coming from a municipality that you might do business in. So there are 3 tranches of money that could very well be coming down. Or if you're a restaurant, there's a devoted amount of money for the $25 billion for bars and restaurants. And businesses can receive up to $10 million to pay for expenses, payroll, mortgage, rent, utilities, food, and beverages. The restaurants are actually getting a lot of help through the Biden stimulus package. So I have a lot of information about that. And if you would like to get more information about it, you can just give me a email. Now, export promotion, I knew that we did not have any people who were interested in export promotion, but it's part of your slides. So I am going to fast forward to government procurement, which you have definitely said that you have an interest in. So I don't have to tell you that government procurement is actually one of the best ways for you to expand your business because of the fact that the United States government accounts for $7 trillion annually. That's the largest purchaser of goods and services in the world. And that's the US government. But the state government, the county government, the local government, the schools, they all are large purchasers and none of them manufacture the goods. So they need to buy it and they need to buy it from somewhere. And I think the most important thing that I can tell you is that I was just on another webinar where I had a county commissioner, who used to be called a freeholder, now called a county commissioner, and they are very interested in buying local. They are. They want to be able to buy from their small businesses because they know you're hurting and they want to ensure that they are doing business with you. And I spoke to that commissioner, it was in Cumberland County, in which I said that we'd be happy to help any of the businesses that call him through the process of understanding how they can sign up and be a qualified vendor. Because they have to, they can't just, basically the commissioner can't just say, I need 1,000 computers. And the person says, okay, we'll get that done for you, commissioner. It doesn't work like that. You have to become a qualified vendor. And so that I think is important for everyone to know. And that's one of the things that the Business Action Center helps you with is how to do it and walks you through it. And we have other technical assistance where we can help you with the procurement process. So Two things I think that you probably already know, which is that purchasing agents have a responsibility to get the most cost-effective cost, but they also have a responsibility to support the business community, especially small, minority, women, or veteran-owned businesses and other diverse suppliers. And they have that, both of them. So they have to balance the two. And that is what we're counting on to ensure that even our small businesses get their foothold in being a part of the process. Now, there are 4 separate laws governing procurement, and you probably already know that there's a federal procurement law, state, county and municipal, and then school district. All 4 different laws, 4 different processes, and each one of them is unique. Now, so in order to become a vendor in any one of these, you're going to have to understand that law. And if you call the Business Action Center, we can help get you a copy and also help walk you through it. But what I always say to any business who is just starting out, start small. So start small, start in your own state, start with a county or municipal procurement, or perhaps with corporations where they are looking for the to work with the minority population that and they want to have that diversity in their vendor list. So federal certifications, there are a lot of them. I show you this slide because there are a lot of certifications if you decide to go federal, but if you are just starting out, I suggest go to the state. So here's what you want to register as for state certifications. So first of all, if you're a small business, and I'm assuming you all are, you want to register as an SBE. Everybody, register as an SBE, because there's a 25% set aside for all of the vendors who do business with the state for small businesses. So you could be a subcontractor as part of that set aside for if you're a small business. Now there is the minority and the women-owned business enterprise, which you could also register as. I say register for everything. That register as small business, register as women-owned business. And I know that the state right now, in terms of state certifications, doesn't recognize LGBT, but I know that there are lots of other counties and municipalities and corporations that do, but we do not have a certification for that specifically. So you can see that there are set-aside programs in Mercer, Essex, Hudson, and Bergen for minority and women-owned businesses. There's also the veteran-owned enterprise, and then there is a set-aside of 3% for disabled veteran-owned businesses. The good news is that there's a single uniform application at the New Jersey portal for you to register for all of this. And there also is our experts at the Business Action Center who can help walk you through this. And the one thing I want to emphasize is that you really need a plan. You need to know really what you're going to want to sell and what your capacity is for selling it. So the Division of Purchase and Property within state government is the central procurement agency. And there are, this is a real important group to get to know because of the fact that this is where you can check all of the opportunities that there are. And I'm going to walk you through that. Now, there are cooperative purchasing groups, which also play a large role in procurement, like the Education Services Commission of New Jersey provides cooperative purchasing opportunities to 700 school districts and municipalities. There are other contracting opportunities, with local government subdivisions, as I said, and county subdivisions. But you need to be registered and ready to go. So how do you start? Well, you start with NJStart, njstart.gov. That's the state's e-procurement system. And you go and you register to be a potential vendor there. And all the bidding opportunities for state government are there. And you can search for the current contract so you can get a sense of what's being purchased. All payments for all contractors are handled through New Jersey Start. And you can check for expiring contracts as a potential bid opportunity might arise there. So go to newjerseystart.gov and really take a look at it. And then if you have any questions, which I'm sure you will, once again, call, email, go to the website, business.nj.gov, and talk to us. So the New Jersey Small Business Development Centers are also equipped to handle questions. They actually can help you put together a plan for procurement so that you think through exactly how much time and effort you're going to put into this, separate and apart from the business that you have now, so that your present business doesn't get hurt while you're trying to ramp up to be a vendor. And also, it will help you decide the best place to go when thinking about procurement. Because what are you selling? Are you selling socks? Are you selling computers? Are you selling services? Because depending on what you're selling will depend on the best place for you to obviously participate. Then the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, which is PTAC, they have wonderful webinars, great webinars. And they actually can help a business when you're further along and you're ready to submit a bid. And this is not just federal, no, this is state and local as well. So PTAC is a really great place that can help you, and their webinars, as I said, are terrific. So what do you need to bid on a contract? Here we go, that compliance stuff again. So you have to be properly registered with the state with a valid business registration certificate. If I told you how many small businesses don't have one of these, you would be shocked. But you must have one. You also have to be tax compliant. Once again, that tax compliant thing is coming up. Now, lots of businesses don't realize they're not tax compliant because of the fact that they may not be tax compliant with something that happened over in the Department of Labor, for instance, that they're unaware of, but it'll show up. They also need to demonstrate the financial ability to fulfill the obligations. Now, how do you do that if you've never been a vendor or a subcontractor? Well, you do it by virtue of the other contracts that you have fulfilled on a not on a for-profit basis with other clients. And so here's your capability statement with you need, and I added these. You need patience, and you also need to know that the cost is minimal, except for the dedication of a staff person who really needs to learn all your company needs to know in order to be a procurement expert. So this is where you need to get in touch with us. Here we are at our website, nj.gov/state/back, our business helpline. Go to our live chat, go to our business website, our COVID website, and this is how you get in touch with me. And also, you can also talk to our business advocates who represent the counties, and you can email any one of them to ask them any questions as well, or email me. So there are any number of ways that you can get in touch with us. And I suggest the easiest way is to go to business.nj.gov and just put your question out there on the live chat, and it will help you to find us. So I'm going to stop sharing right now and see who has questions, and any questions.
If anyone does have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. and ask them of Melanie. Melanie, I'll say before any question comes up, the amount of information you've given us to me is amazing. I kind of thought that there were so many areas and so much information about what to do, help that any small business can get, including the amount of money that really is out there that people should take advantage of if they can qualify for it. But as your point today is, my takeaway is just make sure you have all your paperwork in order.
Right.
And then apply, because the money is out there and the assistance is out there. The ability to have an agency really act as your advocate as a small business owner to get you where you want to go is amazing to me. And that's, so thank you so much for that.
Well, you're welcome.
May I add something?
Yes, Anthony.
Yes, may I add something? Phase 4 grants are coming, and they should have their business registration certificates and the tax clearance certificates, because you need them in order you have to be in compliance. You had mentioned earlier that a lot of folks, they register the business, but they fail to do the second step. So they don't have their business registration certificates.
Right.
We just finished doing phase 1 and phase 2, phase 3 grants, and I was working on the declination appeals. So a lot of folks, they have been in business for a long time, but they fail to have that business registration certificate. So they need that. And they also have to be in compliance with paying their taxes. If you owe the state money, they're not going to give you money.
Right. Exactly. And the other thing is that, and we see this with some businesses, because businesses declare a loss every year. And if they declare a loss every year, then it's hard for them to show that they actually had a profit, that they then had a loss, that they then should have money from a grant to make that up.
Right.
You know what I mean? In terms of the way you work the books.
They had to show that there was a need. And what we were doing were we were reviewing profit and loss statements. We were using comparable timeframes. We were looking at, say, maybe 3 months last year compared to 3 months this year to determine if there was a need. There were different reasons. There were about 10 to 12 different reasons why people were denied, and that's how we were processing them.
Right. So we don't want you to be denied. Ask us first.
Right.
Ask us first. Yes.
Could you share the link in the chat for everyone on how to become SBE registered? Because I think that's a really important thing. I saw it inside the deck.
Yes, I can. You're going to get these slides, but I can do this. Okay. Hold on. I'm looking for that. While I look for that, I want to thank Anthony. He works for the EDA, and he is a great resource also because he works on small business issues. And Anthony, with his folks at the Business Action Center, work closely together. Okay, I'm gonna type this in now. So we work together, and we want you all to be able to apply and get, okay, here we go. I'm gonna type that in. All right. Other questions? Let's see. Okay, NJ portal. You can also go to our website to do it too. Oh, I made a mess here. SBER. Okay, there it is.
Thank you.
Oh, hold on. No. This here, wait a second, that question mark is not supposed to be that. Hold on, copy, here we go. It's supposed to be this. Hold on, here we go. There we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the question mark comes out, backslash goes in, and the Y seems to have gotten lost over there. Okay, there you go. That's it. Now, the other thing is you really want to go to business.nj.gov There you go. And we answer all your questions there. And when these grants come down, that the EDA will have a pre-registration period which they did last time, and I'm assuming they'll do it again because it made it easier, where you go on to see what the application looks like and you make sure you get all your paperwork in order. Don't you think, Anthony, they'll do that again?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and then you get all your paperwork in order. And so that is when you're doing your paperwork, you can see everything that you're going to need. And that's when you talk to your, accountant or whoever does it for you, that you get all organized so that your application is ready, so that on the day that the application's open, you're ready to rock and roll. But what I suggest to everybody, do it now. Become tax compliant now. Go to the business.nj.gov to become tax compliant. If I could only spell. That wasn't part of the job requirement. Okay, tax compliant. That's what you need. And sometimes what happens is small businesses have other people filing their taxes for them, accountants or whomever, and they don't always keep up on, that it was done in a timely fashion. So I think that's important too.
May I add too that they'll need their certificate of formations, state of New Jersey business registration certificates, and the state tax ID. So they should have those documents because they will be requested.
Right. So that's the business registration certificate, right, Anthony?
Yes, business registration certificate, also the certificate of formations, and the business registration certificate and the state tax ID. They will need to know those three things.
Right. There you go. Okay. And we're really anticipating that hopefully it'll be here by the end of April, wouldn't you think, Anthony?
It's coming. That's all I know.
I know that it's coming. It's coming, right? And it's coming, and it's going to be at 3 levels. It's definitely going to be at the state, the county, and the municipal level.
I have a question.
Sure, Susan.
Yeah, my name is Susan Pinto, and my son and I are starting a very small business together. This will be the first time that we're doing this officially. My question is the business.nj.gov the best place to go? Because I'm the one who's doing all the forms. I'm the one who's doing all the computer work, and I'm the artist. I have no business doing forms and computer work. And I've got a million questions, and I keep calling this number.
Which one?
Through 609-292-9292.
Oh, that's Treasury.
They're sick of me.
I'm surprised they're answering the phone.
Yeah, well, they weren't several weeks ago, but now they are, and they're sick of me. And I fill out a form and I fill it out wrong, so then I have to correct it. And now I'm at a spot where they actually, today we got the certificate of formation.
Okay,
And,
that's a step in the right direction.
well, I realized I put the main business address wrong. I put it in incorrectly. And so it's like, I called them and they said I have to call back tomorrow to.
May I suggest something? I have a suggestion for you.
Please.
You should reach out to your local small business development center for the county that you're located in, and they can do all that for you. They assist you with forming and registering your business and all that. They'll help you dot your I's and cross your T's, form and register your business, and get a business plan.
Right.
Okay, please. Okay, I legally.
What county are you in, Susan?
I'm in Essex County.
Okay.
Essex County.
All right, Essex County. Hold on. Okay. We're gonna get you your small business development center in Essex County.
It would be at Newark.
Right.
Newark.
I know. I'm just looking for their telephone number. That's all. Let's see. All right. So hold on. Okay. All right. SBDC. All right, Essex County. Okay, so Rutgers Newark, they are located on the Rutgers Newark campus, and their telephone number is 973-353-5950.
59.
50. And so they can help you with your whole setup for your business.
I mean, I am the main shareholder, and I am a minority of a minority of a minority. Special needs, a woman of color. I know they don't count LGBT as of yet, but I check that box too. And so even though my son has a business degree, he works 60 hours a week supporting his son as a single parent. So this is really challenging for me, but this is the job that I have. So I will give them a call. I appreciate that. And I appreciate the seminar today.
Thank you, Susan. And if you have any other questions, you have the Business Action Center. So you can also go to the business.nj.gov into the chat and just say that I need help with starting a small business, and we'll connect you with Don Newman, who is our small business expert, because he'll also help to be there for you.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, and best wishes and good luck. What kind of business are you starting?
Thank you. Well, he is a mechanic, but he specializes, he builds like cars from the shell up, but he also disassembles cars and sells the parts. He's built race cars. He's very, very good at what he does. And I'm just handling paperwork, and eventually it'll be exporting to Nigeria, which is where he has family as well. So,
all right, exporting. Well, we have export grants, Susan, $20,000 a grant to help with exporting.
Okay.
All right, so so now you're back to the Business Action Center. All right, so business.nj.gov, and say you're looking for to talk to one of our export consultants to help with the exporting to Nigeria.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Like I said, this is brand new. We are just literally getting this off the ground. We're both late bloomers. So
never too late.
Yeah, it's time. So it's time for the both of us.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, best wishes then.
Thank you.
You'll have all the information also when Joe sends it out. So you can call us.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? So you know how to get in touch with us. So that I want you to have as your your magnet on your refrigerator. Like call the Business Action Center, because that's why we're here, and that's important for you to know that we're always a resource for you.
I was going to say, what if we go on the road again? You guys are going to have to give out tchotchkes.
I know. We were giving out pens.
Good time. Give out magnets.
And so we've seen our pens in some very famous places. We were doing pens. Okay. Thanks, Anthony. Anybody else? You're on mute, Joe.
I'm always careful to keep myself on mute and then never go off mute. I just want to say, if there are no more questions, we're a little past 3 o'clock. I wanted to thank you for your time and all of this information you gave us. This is amazing. I knew it was going to be, so thank you for being here today.
Oh, absolutely. Happy to do it. And call me.
Yes, we'd love to have you back.
Okay.
Cool.
Thanks.
Thank you everyone for being here today. Be well.